Hello guys, and welcome back to another video on Sports Reels, and today we'll be predicting the 2021 Cincinnati Bengals schedule. And if you didn't know already, I'm predicting all 32 NFL teams' schedule, starting with the AFC East, then the AFC North, and moving on. And right now, I'm on the Cincinnati Bengals. So you want to check out all those videos, it'll be in the icon right now and description below. It's going to be a playlist. And last thing before we begin, so for all the similar games, meaning games that I've already predicted in other team schedules. For example, I'm predicting the Bengals schedules, but they already play the Browns, and I made a video predicting the Browns schedule. I'll be trying to get those things to line up, like the same score and same result. So yeah, let's get right into it now. So the Bengals are playing the Minnesota Vikings week 1. And I'm going to have them taking L in their first week this season. This Bengals team is improved, but I've listed this in the other videos. Without a strong O-line, even if they have Jamar Chase, I'm pretty sure that's who they got. If they have Jamar Chase, there's nothing that you can really do with them if Burrow gets hit a lot. And Jamar Chase is a rookie. I'm sure he'll be a good wide receiver in the future, but lots of rookies, they don't do too great their first season. They might get a couple hundred yards, but they won't be game-changing. Not many people are like a Justin Jefferson who get 1,000 yards being a rookie. But they usually get maybe 500, 600, or 700, which is good, but it's not game-changing, turning around a whole team. They still need other factors, and big factor being offensive line, meaning not very good run game, and having trouble getting the ball out of their hands. Plus, Burrow's already been injured, and he might not be able to, I don't know how good his recovery is going. It seems like it's going pretty good, but let's say he can't, let's say when it goes okay, but he gets hit again, gets injured again, that could be the Bengals season. But I think he'll be healthy this season. He'll take some hits. He'll be shaken up, but he won't have anything like last year. So for week 1, I'm going to put a loss. Let's see. I'm going to put a 24-10 loss. Because the Vikings, wide receiver core is really strong. So I feel like their offense will be very good. Plus they have Dalvin Cook. And I think Kirk Cousins is kind of underrated. I know he's not the most clutch quarterback or flashy, but he gets the job done. He gets yards, he gets the touchdowns, he gets the ball. He gets the job done as a quarterback. So I'm gonna put loss 24-10. Okay. Now moving on to week 2 versus Chicago. This is gonna be I think the Bengals are gonna have a tough game here. Because the Bengals' defense is still very weak. I know they have a couple good players, but in general, they're pretty weak on the defensive side of the football. And offense, their main part, they're playing the Chicago Bears defense. I know it lost a couple players like Kendall Fuller and Eddie Jackson. No, not Kendall. Kyle Fuller and Eddie Jackson, but still, they have a pretty solid defense who are looking to do some damage. And plus, Chicago's offense gets their new quarterback. Well, he won't be here in week 2. Probably he'll still be backup. But Andy Dalton, I guess he can play. And they have a pretty solid offensive weapons like Allen Robinson and David Montgomery. Those two players are pretty good. So I think that'll be just enough to beat the Bengals' weak defense. And the Chicago Bears defense won't let the Bengals get a lot of points. I'm actually going to say they won't get a single touchdown. They'll get 2 field goals. I think final score will be 27-6. Okay, now we're seeing Pittsburgh. Last season, they won once and lost once. I know that game they won, I was watching it. It was intense, pretty sure. But the game they lost, I forgot if it was a blowout or not. But I'm going to have Pittsburgh winning this game, mainly because the same reasons. Because what happened, the other games, and because this Pittsburgh defense is also very strong. I know Ben Roethlisberger and their offense is pretty weak, but they did get Najee Harris, and he's pretty solid. But if they don't have a good offensive line, what can they really do with them? So I'm going to say the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to have a close game with the Bengals. I think Joe Burrow will have a very good game this week. Even against the Pittsburgh defense, I feel like he's going to do good in the secondary. He's going to, by the way, at that secondary, his offensive line will finally have a good game. But the Pittsburgh's defense will be strong enough to hold on in the end and win the game 24-17. As you can probably tell, there's not going to be many wins for this Bengals team. But maybe I could see them being either a mediocre team or trash, basically like last year. But I guess last year they could have been better, but Joe Burrow got injured. But I guess in the end that sort of helped them in the sense that they got a lower No, higher pick. Yeah, they got a higher pick, meaning they could get Jamar Chase. Okay, now versus Jacksonville. This is where I get the Bengals their first win of the season. This is going to be a really fun matchup. Two rookie quarterbacks, not rookie, but two young quarterbacks playing on both bad teams, maybe equally as bad teams. And I think it's going to be a fun offensive shootout. They're going to be dotting up the fields, dotting up the secondaries. Both secondaries and defenses of this team are not too great. So I think it'll be fun in that part. And I think it'll just be air raid game, basically. A lot of throwing, weak defense. I think it's going to be a fun game, but the Bengals are going to come on top. I feel like Joe Burrow has a little more experience. We don't know how good Trevor Lawrence is going to be. I'm sure he'll be fine, but who knows? He's a rookie. We already seen Joe Burrow. He played pretty well for the situation he was placed in. And yeah, so I'm going to give the Bengals a win here. I'm going to give them the 34-31 victory. I think in the end, it's either going to be like the Bengals will get a game-winning field goal with a couple seconds left, something around then, and then the Jaguars won't have any time to do anything. Alright, Week 5 versus Green Bay. Let me quickly move past this one. Even if Aaron Rodgers is not on the Packers, and FYI, I'm doing the schedule predictions based on current NFL stuff, and I truly believe he'll stay on the Packers, because I don't really see him going away. Like, there's always all these rumors about Deshaun Watson going away, but he never went away. I know he's in a completely different situation, but I feel like both organizations are not letting go of their franchise quarterback. So I believe he'll stay, and even if he doesn't stay, the Packers are going to get a blowout victory here. I'm going 31-10 victory for the Packers. I don't really need to describe this. Packers team is pretty well-rounded. Their defense side is a little weak, but I think that's enough if their defense line stops Burrow. And even if their defense does bad, the Packers offense is just going to decimate the Bengals' weak defense, especially if they're Aaron Rodgers. So loss 31-10. All right, moving on to the Week 7 game. No, Week 6 game versus Detroit. Let's see. Both teams are not great. I'm going to give it to the Bengals, though. Let's give some positivity to them. I just feel like the situation in Cincinnati is better because they have a quarterback who's already played a season, while Jared Goff, being pretty not so great, has his first season in here, so it might take him some time to adjust. Plus, they have a new head coach, which also might take some toll on the team, getting all these, like, a new style of coaching in. So, yeah, the Lions have been in rebuild mode for the past couple of seasons, but I feel like this is where they're going to start their actual rebuild. Like, they're going to start getting a franchise quarterback soon. I don't think Jared Goff is playable. I think he's just he's just a placeholder till they get a quarterback, because they got a bunch of draft picks from the Goff-Stafford trade, so I feel like they can do something with that. So, yeah, Detroit is losing this one. I'm going to make it somewhat close, but still going to be like a pretty significant Bengals victory. I'm going 27-13 for the Bengals. I just feel like the Lions, do they have Darius Slay? Maybe I'm thinking the wrong team, but I still think Joe Burrow had a good offensive game. And on the defensive side, I feel like this is the game where the Bengals defense is going to step up, get some turnovers off Goff. You know, he's not the most greatest quarterback. They're going to get some turnovers off him. They're going to capitalize over that, and they're going to get the victory. Okay, moving on to the next game. I have the Bengals playing the Baltimore Ravens. So this is the first, it's a similar games, I call them. In the Ravens video, I said the Bengals would lose 41-10, and I'm going to keep that the same, because I just feel like the Bengals are nothing compared to the Ravens. In every situation, the Ravens are better. I couldn't name one. Maybe their punter, but I don't know any of their punters, so I can't name one, definitely. But I'll just quickly get over this one. 41-10 victory. Alright, now we're seeing the Jets. I think it's going to be another fun game. Two young quarterbacks again, two weak defenses, two more offensively based teams. Not saying their offenses are good, I'm just saying their offenses are significantly better than their defenses. I think another shootout style game, but this time I'm going to go against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. I'm going to go to the Jets 33-30. This game and the Jacksonville game, I think the Jacksonville game I see more in the Bengals' favor, but this in the Jets game, I could see it being more either way flip-flop because Zach Wilson, he is also a rookie. But I just feel like this game could go either way, and I'm just going to give it to the Jets from this one. And this is another one of these similar games as well, if you wanted to know. Oh wait, I meant to put an L. Win 33-30. Okay, now Cleveland for the first time this year. Last year they did good against Cleveland. They almost beat them both times, I'm pretty sure. But I think this year is going to be a different story. This year it's not going to be fun for the Bengals. This Cleveland team is different than before. They made the playoffs. They beat their division rivals, who always used to beat them every year over and over in the playoffs, embarrassed them on national television, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think after that, and almost beating the defending Super Bowl champions and the eventual AFC champions, Kansas City Chiefs, I think after that, this Browns team is going to be a competitor this year. And you can see in my prediction video for them, you can check it out if you want to know the exact result. I forgot. I am going like 13-4 or like 12-5, something really good. So I think this Bengals team is this Browns team is going to be dangerous, and they're just going to blow the Bengals out of the water this time. It's not even going to be fun for Bengals fans. 31-13. Not much to say about this. Joe Burrow might get a touchdown in garbage time, but other than that, not great. Kind of feel bad for Burrow knowing that he's in this kind of situation. But that's why he's there, to help them rebuild. And I think if this Bengals team gets some defensive players in next year's draft or over next year's free agency, this team could be a average, mediocre team. The problem is their division is so good that even if they're an average team, but since they play all of these really good teams, like 6 times in a year, they're going to get almost 6 automatic losses or 5, so that could hurt them as well. Now moving on to their bye week, let's do a quick record check like I usually do. They have 2 wins and 7 losses. So 2-7. I think this is around midway point of the season. So not looking great for the Bengals. They could be in competition for the first overall pick again, which I guess that's good for them. But yeah, 2-7, sorry. Not great. Let's see how they do in the next game. Now we're seeing the Las Vegas Raiders. I feel like this is actually going to be a close game. I just feel like the Raiders' defense, especially their secondary, we saw what happened last year, especially in that Dolphins game. They literally just blew away a lead in 20 seconds. Like, literally, like a Hail Mary, like, lead in 20 seconds. Like, Fitzpatrick just did some magic, and they did a face mask, plus let up a huge ball, and that basically represents the Raiders' secondary. I don't really know what they did to improve it, but I remember hearing like on NFL News and places like that John Gruden didn't really do a good job, but he feels like he did, but some people are saying he didn't. So I need to research more on that topic, but still, their secondary is not very great. Yet, I'm going to give them the win, mainly because I feel like both secondaries are bad, but I feel like the Raiders' offense is better. They have Henry Ruggs, more experienced quarterback, and Derek Carr. They have Josh Jacobs, he's pretty solid. And they have, they have one more good receiver on their team. I don't really know his name, but they have Darren Waller, which is good. And that's too many targets for the Bengals secondary to guard. Let's say on the Bengals side, Jamar Chase is their main target. They have, like, Tyler Eifert, I'm pretty sure, but he's not too great. But the main good target on the Bengals is Jamar Chase. So they only need one good cornerback. Plus, he's a rookie. Who knows what he'll do. So it's mismatch side there. So I'm going to give the Vegas Raiders the slight edge. It still feels weird calling them Vegas instead of Oakland. I'm going to give them a slight edge. I'm going to say it's going to be a 28-20 game. Now versus Pittsburgh again. This time, I'm going to give the Bengals the upset, actually. I know people say I'm just hating the Steelers, but I don't really have any reason to. But, like we saw what happened last year with the Ryan Finley upsetting the Steelers. And this Pittsburgh team, I think, is worse than last year's, especially after they got clowned by the Browns. I just feel like this team is going to get an upset victory out of nowhere, and it'll be funny against the division rivals, but that's not the only reason. I think division rivals, especially after last year to beat the Steelers, they might put in all effort just to beat them again, because, rivalry and, like, them being the Steelers, they probably didn't like them after what they did last season. I'm pretty sure Juju danced on their logo or something, so they probably still have some bad blood over that. And yeah, I'm going to give the win to the Bengals. Barely, though. Barely. I'm going to do a 21-20 victory for the Bengals. That's going to be probably one of the only few good moments for the Bengals this season. Now we're seeing the LA Chargers. Not much to say about this game. I think it happened last year maybe, or the year before, but these teams are kind of different after that. The Chargers offense has too many good solid players for the Bengals to guard, and on the defensive side, they do also have some good defense. The Chargers have pretty good defense, not great, but they have an okay defense, and that's enough to stop the Bengals. I'm gonna make it somewhat close though. I'm gonna make it 24-13. It's not like a blowout, but not like a super close nail biter. Alright, now playing the San Francisco 49ers. And yeah, this is not going to be pretty for the Bengals. Their main part of their team, like I said, is their offense, playing a really strong, back from injury 49ers. Who knows if their team will still be intact by here. But in the case that they do, they're going to beat them because their main part of their team is stopped. On the defensive side, even with Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance, whoever's even playing, I just feel like that's just enough to win. So I'm giving a loss. It's going to be, blowout basically. 31-10. I'll make it 10. Alright, now versus the Broncos. And I'm going to give the Bengals a win here. So I know the Broncos defense is solid, but I just don't have faith in the Broncos quarterback situation. They have unless they get Aaron Rodgers, they have Drew Lock, which I think he's terrible. There's no saving him. Or Teddy Bridgewater, who's been pretty lackluster for the Panthers last season. So I'm going to give it to the Bengals just because I feel like, even though their team is pretty bad, just the quarterback play by the Broncos might be just enough to get the Bengals closer to the end zone or a good field possession. And then the defense, the best defense could be against a team who's starting from the 30-yard line or 35, and they're going to let up some points. So I feel like maybe 2 or 3 interceptions by the Broncos quarterbacks could cost them the game. I'd still going to be kind of close, though. It's going to be a more defensive game. I'm going to make it 17-6. Now versus Baltimore again. It's another one of these similar games. So I already been over it in the last video, but I'll just quickly review what I said. Basically, I said the same thing. So Lamar Jackson's going to run over this team. It's going to be closer than the last time, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's going to be closer because I think the Bengals defense will play a little better, but their offense is still going to be the same. This is going to not be the same, but I feel like the Ravens' defense is also going to get a little better as well, so that might be a factor. But I'm going to give it a win to the Ravens, meaning loss to the Bengals. I'm going to make it, shoot, I keep messing this up, sorry. I'm going to make it 31-10, sorry. I couldn't drag the text. Now versus Kansas City. I'm going to go quickly over this one. I just feel like this game's not going to be an insane blowout because I feel like there could be a chance they rest their players, but I'm going to do this, chance that they don't. I still think they're going to get blown out. It's not going to be anything huge or anything, but it's still going to be just a normal blowout. I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to do 35-9 victory for the Chiefs. So basically what's going to happen, I believe, is just Patrick Mahomes will dominate for the first 3 quarters of the game. The Bengals defense might get a field goal in. Then the backup will come in. Then the Bengals might stop them a couple times. They'll just run out the clock probably. And then by the time it's the 4th quarter, it's just going to be basically running out the clock. Almost. Alright, now the final week of the season. It's going to be a similar thing in Cleveland. 30-6 loss for the Bengals. Sad way to end off their season. But yeah, I just see it coming because I feel like the Browns are going to be competing for a playoff seed. Not I think they'll be clinching the playoffs, but competing for a higher seed. So they're still going to put in all effort. And they're going to get destroyed, the Bengals. So yeah, that's basically it. I have the Bengals going 4-13. Yeah, because they ended one more game. 4-13. So Bengals going 4-13. Last place in their division, probably. You're going to have to see the Steelers video, but you can probably guess the result of that. And basically, the Bengals are going to probably get a top 5 pick again this year. I couldn't see them getting a 1st or 2nd overall pick. I think a couple of teams are going to be worse than them, particularly the teams they beat. But I think they're not going to have a great season overall. their future is looking sort of bright if they can do some good management decisions. I mean, if the management can do some good decisions, their future could look bright, especially with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I know I didn't focus on them too much, but they're the good parts about the team, but there's too much bad to outweigh the good. And yeah, thanks for watching. Remember to watch the Steelers video that's coming out soon. I think it's going to come out in a day or two, but we'll see about that. And yeah, thanks for watching. Check out the rest of the videos. Check out the Steelers video, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.